Today I visited a museum and I wanted to go here for ages and to see it every day. It's right by Arizona State University. It's located at 1300 North College Avenue in Tempe. It's called Arizona Heritage Center. And the reason why I like it so much is because it has a history. Well, it has Arizona history from the copper mining to the lights, Arizona lights, and we'll get to that later. Wallace, Lambo, Motorola, Papago Park, and it's more for the average citizen. So this is my favorite museum, and it wasn't that bad to get in. I got there at about 2 o'clock, and I guess they were closing at 3. So the lady gave me half off. I think I paid $8. It's usually like $15. So that was really nice. Another thing I like, they don't follow you around. Every other museum that I've been to pretty much is I feel like I'm in a car lot. They're always following you, watching you what you're doing, and I can understand that. They don't want you to destroy anything, but still, it just kind of bugs me. But anyway, let's walk in the museum and I'll show you around. The museum has 2 floors, and it's divided into different sections. The lower section is, well, it talks about early history of Arizona, and also the mining, how important it was to the Arizona economy. Another section you'll see is the main entrance is important figures in Arizona history, and this guy's name is Terry Goddard, and he was the mayor I think from 84 to 1990. And he was also the Attorney General from 2003 to 2011. Guy went to Harvard. And I used to see him walking up Squaw Peak all the time. Well, it's called something else now, but he always said hi to me. He was a pretty nice guy. But that's one of the people you remember. And you also have another room filled with these displays, copper, different things. It gives you a little card of what it is. Pretty interesting. I enjoyed it. Here you have some pictures of the way Arizona used to look like back in the 1800s. Man, what they must have gone through, especially the heat. Better person than me. Now I walk up to the second floor. This is part of it right here. Here's Barry Goldwater. He was a legend in Arizona. I remember growing up and I was hearing about him. And actually, when Nixon was in big trouble, he's one of the guys that told him to resign. He had a lot of power back then. Great guy. He lived in Paradise Valley. Actually, been to his house, well, past it. Um, yeah, he was a big part of Arizona history. Mr. Golar was also a big ham radio back in the day. Remember, this is before the internet, computers, all this stuff, and back then it was really a big thing. I had friends that were into it, and I was just they were nuts, but each his own. But that's a pretty good display there. Here's another neat little display. A lot of detail went into this. Another thing they had was when World War II started, they would pick up the Japanese Americans and put them in camps. So I had a little history about that also too. Another display showed how they lived, and that's a room that they lived in. Bet you didn't know this. Arizona, Papago Park used to hold POWs, and actually a few of them escaped from Papago Park. They dug a tunnel. I think it was like when I was in high school. They told me it was like 100 something feet, and they want to go to. They thought they were going to raft out of there, but it's Salt River. But of course, it's dry. They didn't know that. I thought that was kind of a fun part of history. But if nothing else, go to that museum. Is so interesting. All the stuff that happened during that time. You'd really enjoy that. Ever see the movie Patton? Well, you actually had a training center uh, in was one of the largest military bases in the world. It was 18,000 square miles, stretched from California to Arizona, and more than a million troops were trained in a 2 year period. And in some areas, you can actually see the tank tracks and the shells and stuff like that. Here's my favorite, Bob's Big Boy. If you grew up in Arizona, you know this guy. Around Central, I believe Thomas. They had a restaurant over there, and my parents used to take us down there. God, it was great. I really miss those times. Here's they also have a section about Motorola. Used to have some big plants back in the day back in the 80s, 90s, 70s. They were pretty big. This restaurant was on 24th Street in Thomas, and it looked like a castle. And it was really popular back in the day. I tell you, you want to see an old guy get misty eyes? Mention Wallace and Lambo. That was a big part of my childhood right there. These two guys were great. They were really popular back in the 60s, 50s, I believe 80s too. But I grew up with these two guys. It was like a children's show, but it was like these guys seemed like they treated you as adults. They talked to you like adults. So it was a really fun program back then. One guy they don't have here is Gerald, and anywhere you go to, you talk to people that grew up here. Just mention those two names, you'll get a response. They also have another section about sports in Phoenix, from spring training, Arizona Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, even the hockey team, which left last year. I tell you, this museum is a great museum. You got to go. It's really is good. You know, I forgot all about the Roadrunners. They used to play at the where the old Suns Arena on McDowell, and they were great. God, the tickets were so inexpensive to see those games, but it was really great to go see them. They they even have a room about the Phoenix Lights. You don't know what the Phoenix Lights is? Well, let me tell you. It was a big thing. It happened between in the evening of I think it was 1997. Yeah, March 13th, 1997. And I had friends that saw these. I don't know where I was at, but I didn't see. I don't even know if I was in town that day. But I had friends that saw it, and they swear there was a the spacecraft right above Phoenix. Of course, I always miss the good stuff. But it's a room uh, filled with all the little memorabilia, and there's a little screen that tells you all about it. I tell you, this is a great place to go to. You gotta go. They even have an article about Governor Simonton. He saw the UFO lights. Now this guy was a character. Let me tell you. He he used to be the ex-governor of Arizona like back in the '90s. Anyway, he was supposed to be a really smart businessman who was real estate, but he's kind of cooking the books. So they filed charges against him. And all I remember about that period of time is President Clinton pardoning him. And so it was a 7-year battle or whatever. And I think later on in life he started he went to the Arizona Culinary Institute. I really don't know that much more about him. But anyway, it's a good museum to go to. You'll have a lot of fun. And if you would you do give me a like? It'll help me a lot. And if you want to subscribe, that would help me a lot too. Anyway, next time, I think I'm going to go to another, I'll go to a few more museums, But anyway, have a good week. See you next time.